Hello, can you hear me? Yeah. My name is Steffi, and today I want to talk to you about the importance of closer. I'm not used to talking to mic. Is it okay? Can everybody hear me? All right, perfect. So today I want to talk about the importance of having a community, or better said, tribe, when transitioning into tech. But before I start, a little bit about myself. I'm an ex-marketeer. I come from Romania. I moved around 3 years ago to Barcelona, Spain. And I also love eclairs and croissants, so I'm very happy to be in Paris tonight. To make sense of what I'm about to explain, I want to tell you a personal story. When I was about 18 and I had to pick a university, I chose business administration because the only IT school that taught in German was in my hometown. And staying in my hometown would have meant I would have never come out. So maybe some of you can relate to that, I'm not sure. Fast forward 10 years afterwards, as an independent adult, I signed myself up for a C programming course in Bucharest. There are no boot camps in Bucharest, and I just wanted to give it a shot. If you're wondering why, it was something that was always in the back of my mind, so I wanted it out. But unfortunately, after just 3 lectures, I was completely lost. I didn't understand anything. The course offered absolutely no support, so I just quit. None of my friends knew about it because they just did it like in secret. I just signed up, I went there, and I was like, okay, it's done, nobody knows. Moving on. But luckily, a few weeks later, I got offered a job in Barcelona, and once I moved to Spain, things completely changed for me. I tried my best in my new job. I was excited about the new challenge, but somehow living in the city where it was safe to be me gave me the space to figure out that I was actually still keen on becoming a developer. It was like this thing that I was like, wanted to be a developer, but on top of that, I had to like hide who I was in Bucharest. So once this was not an issue anymore, I started to discover the other side. And I tried to avoid it for a while, but I couldn't. So I found out about Codebar, which is a non-profit organization from London, but it's worldwide, and they offer workshops to underrepresented individuals to help them learn how to code in a safe and collaborative environment. Here I found some of my best friends and some people in my tribe, which I will talk about. And I was on a mission to build my blog and learning some HTML and CSS. Unfortunately, though, 2018 was not my best year. I lost someone very close to me to sudden death. So that completely changed everything because nothing mattered anymore. All I did was get on planes and fly far away, trying to numb this pain. It didn't work, so you have to deal with this stuff. But during this time, I found Sleeping at Last, which is a music project led by Ryan O'Neill. If you haven't heard about it, I recommend listening to it. It's really good music. And he has an album entitled The Enneagram, and I didn't at first understand what it was, so I looked into it. And I found out I'm a type 6 personality, which means I'm an excellent troubleshooter. I don't know why I needed some external validation to tell me, like, maybe you should look into development again. But here it was. And at the same time, I found Chantal Martin, who's an artist, and she has a documentary on YouTube called Come What May. And she talks about how she used to wake up every day and ask herself, who are you? Are you you? So that she would come to this answer, you are you. So it's trying to figure out who she was. So through her questions, I figured out I was still keen on becoming a developer. So I went into it. But now about this thing, the tribe. So what is a tribe? For me, a tribe is a group of people that come together and they are connected through, in a deep, meaningful way by a common goal. They are your people, and they will show up for you, and with them you will feel seen and accepted. On the other hand, a community is less personal. It appears by chance or circumstance, for example, based on where you're from or where you went to school or things like that. The tribe can be global, and this like important goal keeps you together. So how did this tribe help me and why did I need the tribe? Well, on my new mission of becoming a developer, I said, again, I'm going to do it on my own. It didn't work out for me, but maybe for others. And I discovered this amazing course, which is free. It's called CS50. It's an introductory course to computer science by Harvard. But only in week 2, I had to build this amazing pyramid in C, and I hit the wall. I didn't know how to do it. But luckily, there was this guy called Bruno on Codebar Slack channel. I never met him in person because he lives in London, but he was one of the first ones to show up and help me, and together we managed to do it. But besides tech questions, I had many other questions. I was not sure if transitioning into tech during your 30s is not maybe too late, if it's worth paying for a bootcamp because they're pretty expensive. And here I found other people who helped me a lot. For example, a close friend of mine now, Manana, who did a transition herself in her 30s after finishing a PhD in psychology, guided me a bit and helped me tackle many of my questions. And many other people, but I'm gonna keep it short. So I discovered CodeUp. I wanted to find a bootcamp that was not just a bootcamp where you go and pay and get the skills that you need. So I found Codebar, which is a women-led organization that helps women, trans people, and gender non-conforming with their transition into tech. And for me, it was like the logical step, like the right pick, because it felt like part of my tribe and the people who believe in the same things I do. So if you're wondering how could you build your tribe, you're probably already in one, and you might not see it that way. For example, me being an expat, I'm part of the grumpy expat, because being an expat is not very easy. But I'm going to give you a few suggestions of how it worked out for me. So the first thing is to be a bit uncomfortable. If you're an introvert like me, it's quite hard. But going to meetups is important because here you might meet those people. In Barcelona, we have a few tech meetups like Codebar, Women Who Code, LGBT Tech, Barcelona Women Tech Makers. Some of these are obviously international. There's online resources, there's YouTube, there's the podcast Code Newbie, and much more. You just have to look for it and start asking people. And one last piece of advice, which for me turned out to be very important, is whatever you're trying to achieve, ask for help. It will make a huge difference. I've honestly never got to know why asking for help. You might get a maybe, or you might be like to someone else, but it usually works. You just have to be ready to get rejected, and if that will be the case, and just keep going, because you never know what might come after you ask for help. And that's about it. I hope that you know that I wouldn't have made it so far without my tribe, and I have to thank each one of them, and that's it. I find it very awkward at the end when I have to ask you if you have questions, so I will ask you a question first. Do you feel like you're part of a tribe? Can you raise your hand? Awesome. All right. If anybody has a question, if not, it's fine. Oh, the microphone is.
Why do you think you couldn't learn code on your own?
Because it was really challenging. Every time I hit a roadblock or I couldn't figure something out, it was super frustrating. And I looked online and on Google, and you get to this forum where people just throw you the solution, but nobody explains. And it's super frustrating. Like, someone online said, just copy paste this code and put it will work. And I was like, great, and I will get the certification, and what do I do next? Because I have no clue how it works.
Why did you try? Why did you try on your own?
Why?
Yeah.
Oh, because I wanted to do it in secret, because I felt like maybe I will fail. So then if nobody knows, it's like safe. We can just pretend it never happened.
Thanks a lot.
All right, thank you.
I saw that Jonathan left with a microphone. So we're done with the talk, and we are a bit early, and pizzas are gonna arrive in 30 minutes. Sorry, but there is beer. There's a lot of beer. Lisa helped with that. I had a kind of beer crisis last night because I found like 20 beers in the fridge, and I said, no, they're never gonna be enough. But there were more. I just didn't see them. So yeah, that was it. Thank you for listening, for attending, and let's move to the kitchen, drink, and talk about maybe keeping this alive and maybe creating a tribe. Okay, thank you.